Hey, this is Fuchsia from Lune, and I am doing another painting today. So the paint is 2 parts Floetrol, 1 part paint, a splash of GAC 800, and enough water to get a pretty runny consistency. I also added 5 drops of Minwax per color, as well as 1 to 2 drops of silicone oil per color. I also added a splash of silver mixing medium in some colors to jazz it up. If it was flat, to make it a little more flashy. This one didn't go right on the first attempt, so I ended up having to redo it. So what you're seeing right now is the first attempt. It might be kind of cool with some geodes in there or something like that, but it just wasn't what I was going for. So I practiced some swirls and then I decided to redo it. So my first attempt on this piece was the traveling ring pour, and it looked okay at first, but yeah, I didn't like it. So in hindsight, I wish I hadn't put the black in first, since that is the last thing that comes out and sits at the top of the piece. So I left the black out of the next attempt, and I went with a tree ring pour. I could tell that the canvas wasn't level by the way that it was flowing, so I tipped it a bit as I was pouring, and that helped to control it. I could have applied heat to it at this point, but I could see tons of cells, so I went ahead and just stretched it anyway. So at first it was looking like a planet, but then the stretching kind of made it transform, of course. The cool thing about fluid painting is that it's very forgiving, and if you don't like it, you can start over. And I just scraped the extra paints off of the plastic on the side and reuse them for other pieces as bases or pillows, as they call it. So it just ends up running off the canvas anyway, but helps the other paints flow better. So it is good to reuse. I just put a lid on the cups and it stores for weeks at a time. So you just want to bring the paint over the edges and then bring it back to the center, and it helps to hold the paint in. I'll be making a square edge with a cardboard box in the near future to keep the gloves cleaner. I already invested in better gloves, which has been helpful. So the most labor-intensive and time-consuming part of fluid painting is mixing the paints. One thing I wanted to mention is I always mix the paint outside and wear a mask, and recommend it for others. So I decided to use the heat gun to bring out as many cells as possible. One thing that I learned from this piece is to not use full-bodied acrylic paints in. I noticed with this type of canvas, with the wood frame in the back, it dries much better than the cheap ones from the dollar store with no wood reinforcement, which makes sense. And here's the final result close up with indirect lighting. I'm calling this one Whirlpool. I love the way it came out. This painting was inspired by my Uncle Jim. The colors are for his favorite sports team, the Dallas Cowboys. I will definitely be doing more of these in the future, so make sure you hit subscribe and like this if you like what you saw. Thank you for watching.